back there is dedicated to the fact that penicillin was very first worked on there back in the late 1930s by Professors Florey and Shane. They were treating a local man dying of injuries, and quite a successful start, but he died unfortunately when they ran out of supplies. But the there was enough to be the tremendous antibiotic we know nowadays, and the two of them together with the discoverer of penicillin, Alexander Fleming, were awarded the Nobel Prize for Medicine back in 1945. But our COVID sort of experiments go on up in Eddington, at the vaccine sort of labs up there, part of the Churchill Hospital rather than in the centre of Oxford. This is now on the left hand side, this is Rhodes House, the home of the Rhodes Scholarship. Of course, Cecil Rhodes, quite a controversial character in history, some may say, but when he died back in 1902, he was an Oxford man. He was attended Oriel College back in the High Street, and he left a large, sizable chunk of money to be used in perpetuity, so that up to 100 students, overseas students that is, would come and take a sort of place in Oxford on a graduate programme, and they would then go through this process and then be assigned to an individual college where they live and carry out their studies. Let's look at those people that would have sort of empathy with world kids and the like. So it's very difficult to get in on that programme. As you can imagine, only 100 places, the success rate is less than 1% of those that apply actually get in on that. And we're heading down towards stop number 13 for the Sheldonian Theatre on Broad Street here. Normally the college grounds on the right are quite beautiful, like Trinity College, the dark blue gates, but it's a lot of building work going on there.
There's a college in the background.
Sort of college buildings going on in the trees area known as the wilderness there.
Yeah.
But this is now Wadham on the left hand side. Wadham dates 1610.
1610.
And this is founded by Nicholas and Dorothy Wadham, husband and wife. And he died before the building work could get going, so she undertook it all herself, which in the 1600s was quite a tall order, as you can imagine. Famous students there? Well, Melvyn Bragg, the television presenter, and Sir Christopher Wren were those students there. We're going to take a right here. Straight ahead of us is the area where the walking tour is, and the Bridge of Sighs is down the road about 50 yards, and it's off to the left. We can't actually see it from here, which is why I'm suggesting having a walk down the walking tour with it. But the Royal Navy's building on the left is the Clarendon building. This is the original home of the Oxford University Press, where the King James Bible was printed. And now this is our beautiful Sheldonian Theatre. That's birthdays just over 350 years ago. And down through the gap is the congregation house, the Divinity School, and the Duke Humfrey's Library. Both of those latter ones appeared in Harry Potter films, incidentally. Not the Bodleian Library there, but the Sheldonian, as I said, it's a place of ceremony for the university. But we'll cover a bit more about that in a minute, because our next stop is across the road outside the cottages, about 100 yards up on the right hand side. We'll talk about the Sheldonian heads. Have a look at these funny heads here. These are known as Emperor's heads here in Oxford.
Emperor's heads.
Because nobody really has any idea what they're actually there for. So, and that dates from when the Sheldonian was first built.
Next one you're going to.
We've got 5 colleges in our current vicinity, 3 down the road to our left where the van's disappearing. We've got Exeter on the left, Jesus on the right, and Lincoln down the far end. And coming into view now straight in front of us, this rather sparkling looking place is actually our second oldest college, Brasenose. Dates from 1263. The dark blue gates are the other end of Trinity College, middle 1550s. And some delightful cottages on the left hand side. You may just, before we talk about the Sheldonian Theatre, do have a look through the Sheldonian Theatre there. You may just catch a glimpse of the Bridge of Sighs, where the trees are in between there and the gallery.
Oh yeah, I can see it. Bridge going over behind that head.
You need to sort of get out and go and have a look at it, because it's hidden away down a sort of side street. 5 yards
gap,
past there is
that gap there.
Yeah.
Bridge right going up, Bridge of Versailles called. Goes up over the top, look.
Okay.
You see it?
Yeah.
It's actually a bridge. Right,
The bridge I mentioned is a place of ceremony. This is where the students come through twice in their life. They only came through last Saturday, incidentally, in the very first one. But the students have only just, believe it, they've only just come up to Oxford. They get 4 months holiday in the summer, which is brilliant.
On the roof, look.
But they actually go through a ceremony called matriculation. They enroll with the university and agree to abide by the university's role. They've already joined their own individual college.
Up on the top of That's
But
the
then
part where they
university
sleep.
provides all the
On the top
faculties,
there's a bloke.
departments and the
Oh, yeah.
facilities, examinations.
Open it.
And they have to
Right,
swear
see
over
it.
the university
On the corner.
in order to sort of go through that process. And the second time they go through there is
Student accommodation.
hopefully 3 years or so's time when they graduate.
This is students' accommodation.
The mortarboards and the mortarboards and that might get thrown up in the air in a giant sort of tumble and find your own from there, I suppose. So, a bit more of a bridge's size down through the gap.
Right, you can see it there. Look. You see the bridge? There, just see it now. Gone now. Gone through the gap.
The History of Science Museum on the right hand side.
You can actually get off there and walk
It isn't
through
open
there.
on a Monday, unfortunately, but there's a very beautiful ceiling inside the painted ceiling inside the Sheldonian Theatre. It's based on a building in Rome, the Marcellus Tower, U-shaped. It's sort of very hard to actually arrange for the actual roof to fit over there because you can make it quite wide. But we're on the left-hand side on this corner is the Western building. Part is one of the 5 locations in the Bodleian Library in Oxford here. It's the most modern one. So it goes back to the late 1930s. You can see
1930s.
But the Bodleian itself is home to some 3 million books here in Oxford. That may sound a lot, but it's not enough room for all of them. Because the remaining 10 million are housed down in a large warehouse at Swindon, about 30 miles back. The reason for this is because the Bodleian, like 5 other libraries in this country,
I've seen that on, you know that programme we're watching with the 2 universities challenge?
Yeah.
I've seen the Trinity College